it's in the details. It's Lex Luthor needs a scene that establishes on a personal level why he is the way he is. And I don't think it needs to be a loud scene or an obnoxious scene. Just something that quietly reveals his sense of loneliness and emptiness by comparison of Superman. Why is it so important for him to feel important? Because as much as his envy speech at the end of the movie, that speech is a good speech. It's played perfectly by Nicholas Hoult. Like, he admits that all of what he's doing to Superman is out of envy, because what Superman can do is, it's so miraculous. It makes him feel pathetic in comparison. That's fine, but that's still not enough. I really felt like without an actual interaction between him and Superman prior to this, it does come off as superficial and empty. Lex Luthor needed an introduction, or at least one private moment in the movie, that establishes and showcases where this feeling of weakness and inadequacy comes from. Because I think the strength, again, going back to Smallville, the strength of that writing is that Lex Luthor was never good enough for his father. His father was always challenging him and telling him to do better. Nothing he ever did was good enough. And even in what makes that friendship so strong between Lex Luthor and Clark Kent, even then, his father seems to think Clark Kent is a better man than him. And that, you see that living by comparison is what has destroyed Lex Luthor for all the years to come, because he has always lived by comparison of what his father felt he should be. And he was never maniacal enough, he was never conniving enough, he was never sinister enough, he was never good enough, he was never moral enough, he never had enough conviction. And it was all the judgment of his father that destroyed and eroded whatever good character he could potentially have. And I think that's something that this movie, it just needed scene one scene of either Lex Luthor by himself in a moment of quiet, either reflecting on what I feel should have been done. They should have drawn back on that Smallville, on that origin from the comics where Lex Luthor and Superman were friends at one point. I think just one scene showing where this feeling of inadequacy comes from is what we needed for Lex Luthor to be a fully fleshed out character. Because without that, he just comes off as a cheap cartoon villain, even with his emotional speech about envy. I think this is something I think private moments are so important when it comes to writing characters, that if you don't have them, the audience can't get where your character's coming from.